got me. And again, don't get me started on Encanto. Have you seen Encanto yet?
Oh yeah, yeah. I love Encanto.
And
It
actually,
made me cry when the host.
the
when
host.
One, two, three, four, five. Everybody in the car, so come on, let's ride to the liquor store around the corner. The boys say they want some gin and juice, but I really don't wanna.
Hey guys, welcome back. It's your girl Karina. Today we have a guest. Her name is Mono.
Hello, hi.
She is somebody really close to us, for Jonathan and I. Today we're gonna. Well, first things first. Let me go ahead and apologize for missing last week episode on Tuesday. But Jonathan was really sick with his allergies, and he lost his voice. So he was feeling really crappy. Sunday, was it Sunday or Monday? He pretty much slept like the whole day. Like he didn't eat. He just slept. Like he literally slept the whole day.
Oh, I've been
and
like that
he
before.
just felt, and it was all allergies. Like literally, and the crazy thing about it is, like a couple of days before that, I got really sick. Like I was stuck in that couch and I was dying.
I was just dying. Yeah, if you don't take your allergy medicine, your allergies gonna kick your butt.
Yeah. So so sorry about that. But happy Pride Month. You know, the whole reason why we're doing this season to begin with. Today we do have Mono with us today. And I just want to do a little greet and meet for the first 5 minutes or so. So how's everybody's day doing?
Pretty good. I got the next today and tomorrow off of work, so I'm happy. I'm very tired from not yesterday, but Sunday, because I pulled a 10-hour shift. That wasn't fun, because it's been good in the hundreds lately. So
yeah, man.
Even though I wasn't outside, I was at the window drive through, and I still felt the heat. And then later in the day, when the sun was on my side of the building and it was shining right in my face, wasn't fun. But, got through it. I'm alive. I was dead, but, I'm still here.
Right. Spiritually dead, physically alive.
That's the best way I can say it.
Yeah.
But,
yeah,
but I've been good. I'm good. I'm happy.
That's good. And for the people that obviously don't know Mono, she just graduated from high school.
Yeah.
So everybody, a round of applause.
Yeah.
Make the paw noises. No.
Clap, please.
Right?
I'm so happy to be done with school, dear God.
I know, right? I remember the day that I walked the stage, man. I don't remember if I cried, but
I was on the verge of crying because of how with the pandemic and everything. I thought I wouldn't be able to graduate, but then
oh yeah, definitely. Because I was at her graduation. Whenever I saw you walk the stage, I did tear up a little, and I was like, damn. She made it. Look at her.
I made it.
Grown ass woman now. No.
I mean, technically, but I don't. I'm just over here what does an adult feel like? Because I turned 18 a little bit before that, a week before that, and I'm just like, is this how an adult feels? I don't know. I still feel the same. I don't know.
Girl, I'm 26 and I still feel the same.
I feel exactly the same.
I'm trying to go back to my mama's house. Well, yeah, that's good. That's exciting. Things has happened to you. Me personally, nothing exciting. Jonathan got sick. that was the most exciting thing ever. And then we had family day. We had oh
yeah, that was fun.
Yeah, celebrated your 18th birthday.
Yeah, everyone's May birthday. All that. It was really fun to see everybody.
Yeah, again. And it's that day you probably don't know, but that day was very a little stressful for me because that was the first time that our families were gonna get together. My sister, she's casually met his mom. Sorry, his mom has casually met my sister at the store as well as his dad, but they haven't actually met. You know what I mean?
Got to mingle.
Yeah, and it was a little nerve-wracking because for his birthday they actually sat down from across each other and talked. And then for family day as well, she got to meet everybody, the whole family. So that was it was a little nerve wracking on my side, but I talked to one of my closest friends, and she was just like, just breathe. And I was like, you're right, I'm tripping for nothing.
Yeah, just,
Yeah, and then it's summer, so I usually take the kids to school, like my nieces and nephews, and I don't have to take them anymore. I just have to pick one up from summer school. But other than that, I've just been chilling, girl. My pool's open. I'm ready to go dip in there in my pool it's been too hot. Like, I don't want to be out there. The other day was like 104.
Make me melt before I walk out the door.
Okay, by the time I walk to my truck, I'm already sweating.
already created my own pool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that sounds gross.
Yeah, definitely. But let's go ahead and get into Song of the Week. Song of the Week is usually provided by your one and only me. Nah. But for this season, we're going to do it for our guests so we can, expand our music knowledge, I guess you can say. So if you can do me the favor and go ahead and tell us what your Song of the Week is.
My song of the week is Mambo number 5, A Little Bit of That. If any of you have heard of that, it's by Louis Bega, if I said that right. I probably haven't, but if you've seen the movie Mask, or if you've just heard the song before, you know what I'm talking about. It's really great.
And the movie Mask with Jim Carrey, correct?
Yes.
Yeah. So one more time, the song of the week is going to be Mambo number 5 by, I think it's Lou Bega.
Lou Bega. Yeah, that's probably how you say his name.
But if we're saying it wrong, we apologize.
Yes.
But go ahead and check it out. And obviously, that is what you heard in the beginning of our episode for this week. So if you like that song or you want to listen to the rest of that song, that's the name of it. And also remember, it will also be on our description in our Instagram post on It Be Karina. So let's go ahead and get started. Let's get into what everybody is here for. No. You go by as Mono, which is like your, like, I guess, like kind of like your gamer name.
Sort of like a persona in a way.
Yeah, there you go. So then you already stated that you're 18, right? Freshly 18. So as of right now, what are your pronouns?
My pronouns, right now, my pronouns is she, her.
Okay. And so you identify as a girl, as a woman, as a female.
Yeah, I do. Like, I have my moments where I do kind of question it, but at the moment, I do feel comfortable with being identified as a girl. I'm very confident in it.
Yeah, no, and that's good. That's good. I question it myself. Until this day, I do have like my girly moments where I do like my hair and dresses and heels and makeup, but majority of the time you'll see me just like this, like biker shorts, a t-shirt, and my hair up, and like.
Yeah, I do have my girly moments too, and like that's funny. It's funny because when I was younger, I hated doing girly stuff for some reason.
Me too.
Like, I don't know why, because I guess in my mind I'm like, I want to be different. I don't want to be any other girl, but then I'm looking over here like I'm wearing every type of dress possible. I'm over here like, yeah, getting my hair done.
Yeah, you know what really made me, and to a certain point, I feel very forced to by society to be girly whenever I got my first desk job. Whenever you're a girl and you work behind a desk, you have to dress like very formal. So you have to wear like the heels, the skirts, the slacks, the blouses, the makeup. And it's just like I felt very forced that I had to do that. I've had a desk job for like almost like 4 years now. So it's very like, it has came into my daily routine. Like, so when Jonathan and I go out, like I dress up instead of just putting like my favorite sneakers and my favorite like t-shirt and like dress like a tom, which Jonathan is he met me like that, being like tomboyish. But now I do it. Like, I know he likes me with my hair down, so I do that. But there was a point where I did question, like, am I even like a girl, just because of how I dress, very manly-ish. So I do understand like that you do question it sometimes.
Yeah, because like I mean? I'm acting in ways that my younger self would have like looked at me like, what is wrong with you? like how I am right now. My middle school, sort of elementary school self would be all like, if they looked at me now, it's like, what? What are you doing? Who are you?
Yeah, but people do change, and sometimes they change, for the better. They change to.
Yeah, I've definitely changed for the better. Like
Yeah.
at least emotionally and like in my own body, I feel so much better. I still have my moments, I still have days where I feel like I can't even, I look ugly or whatever. But it's much better than I did my entire life, because I remember even early as elementary school, I've had body issues. I've had issues with myself. Like, I always thought I wasn't pretty enough. I always thought I was ugly. But even when my family would literally tell me, "You're a beautiful girl. You are very beautiful," I didn't really believe them. I thought they were just telling me that because they were my family, and I just, I never thought that. But then my mom even pointed out in middle school, when I got into 8th grade and when I eventually got out of middle school, she said I just blossomed. Like, I kind of had a moment where
you grew up.
I grew up. I became me. I started being true to myself.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it was around that time when I saw Inside Out, the
Mm-hmm.
movie Inside Out, because again, it taught me that it's okay to feel things, because I think that was the main thing that was holding me back from those things.
Mm-hmm.
Just me being afraid of showing my emotions. And after that, and I was able to teach myself, hey, it's okay to feel things, it's okay to cry. And that's when I just kind of and then, when I started having better outlets whenever I'm upset, and whenever, like, say, I did get upset, I would handle it better, because I wouldn't have so much anger built up inside me. I would have a easier time. Like, I could just brush that crap off. Like, looking at it now, like, remembering when kids back in middle school would bully me, like, looking back at it now, I'm like, geez, that was really stupid, but it really got me riled up. And they would do it on purpose, because apparently seeing someone upset is entertaining, which, I mean, sometimes it is, but
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. You're speaking to somebody that definitely got bullied all through high school and middle school, so I get it. So since you're saying since middle school you started figuring out most of your feeling situation, how to process your feelings, and understand that, like you said, it's okay to feel things. It's natural. It's healthy to feel things.
Yeah, because even like before that, I've had teachers and stuff telling me how mature I was for my age. Because I would try to, like, I would try to allow myself to, like, be like a kid. Because in a way, for a while, I was in too much of a rush to grow up. Like, I don't know why, but I think it's because of, like, other stuff that was happening that I'll probably get into later. But at the same time, I wanted to grow up, all that jazz, because, I felt like me being a kid was just, we probably all had those moments.
So,
but like, they also reminded me, like, since, like, it's okay, it's good that you're so mature, but remember, try to be a kid sometimes.
Right, yeah, most definitely, yeah.
Even now, since I'm a legal adult, quote unquote, I still want to have my moments where I just want to act like a kid.
Yeah, no,
it's fun.
Yeah, I like to throw fits sometimes. So what do you mean? It doesn't change.
Yeah,
right?
I have my moments.
Yeah. Jonathan does too. He be throwing fits, and I just look at him. I'm like, what are we at the grocery store? Like, but since it seems that a lot of like changing emotionally and physically happened to you during middle school, is that also where you started questioning your sexuality? Because what is your sexual orientation? Is that what it's? Is that what?
Yes.
Yeah. What is your sexual orientation now, as of like today?
As of today, right now, I consider myself as a pansexual.
Okay.
Like, basically, when I realized that I could be attracted to anybody.
Right.
Just don't be, mean. Just be, a good person. Like, I focus more on personality. I don't care if you're a guy, trans. I don't care, as long as you like me and, like, I like you back and we can connect. That's all I care about. Gender doesn't stop me.
Right. Yeah. Did that start from the beginning, or did you identify yourself differently when you first, like, try to figure out who you were into? Like, how you, yeah. Did that make sense?
Yeah, I think I get what you're saying. When I first started questioning my sexuality altogether, I mean, actually before that, I never really thought about it, really. Because, before I knew girls could like girls or anything different from a boy liking a girl or whatever, I always thought, okay, well, I guess that's normal, and I just never really questioned it. It was never really on my mind. I've seen, like, in elementary school, and I always thought that was weird, but like how kids would date each other in elementary school, whatever, have little things going on, I guess, whatever. And I'm just like, okay. And if I remember correctly, I had a boy in elementary school who liked me, but he was like freaking mean about it. So, and again, this is when I realized I kind of had a thing for my best friend, but I didn't know what it was, so I couldn't really act on it. Not like I could just go up to a teacher and ask, hey, what does it mean when you feel like you have to be attached to the hip to your best friend?
Right, yeah.
But, I didn't know how to ask that, and I never really questioned it. So I was like, okay. It was only around middle school when, puberty hit, the whole sexual education thing kind of popped up is when I really started questioning stuff. And around that time, that's when I learned, wait, girls can like girls? What? Because that's when I started realizing I like girls. Girls are hot. Girls are hot. I don't know.
Yeah. They are.
I'm like, oh. Girls are cute. You can't change that. You can't change my mind.
Yeah.
And it just kind of dawned on me. I'm like, okay, well, I guess I'm a lesbian, because that's what I was starting to learn, the different terms from the LGBT. And I was proud of it. I was proud of being, a lesbian. And I just thought I just didn't like the boys, because the boys I knew at the time I didn't really have a thing for. And
I think, like, saying that you started around like 7th, 8th grade, I think that's it makes me like giggle a little bit, because I met you around that time. Like, I had pretty much met you when you were in the process of like, what is this? So
yeah,
like, I remember the day that I met you. You were like so excited to meet me.
Yeah, it's because the idea of, I don't know why, but back then the idea of Jonathan having a girlfriend was just exciting.
I think everybody was like, there were like when I met.
I don't know why, but I was so excited. I'm like, he has a girlfriend.
Yeah. Everybody gave me the same reaction, and I was just like,
what?
Yeah.
Because, like, Jonathan, like, from what I remember, you were such a loner.
That's what I got. Everybody told me that. They were like, I didn't even know he had friends. And I was just like, he don't. Like, I'm just playing. But, like, I remember when I particularly remember when I first met you, because you came and you gave me a hug and you sat down to me and you were like, my name is so-and-so, I'm a lesbian. And I said, oh, okay. Like...
Yeah, because I was really proud of that. Like, I wanted people to know.
Yeah, and that
but at the same time, I knew I had to be
me...
careful about it, because I know not everybody liked the idea. But I feel like I really liked you. I still do. Like, I felt like I could trust you with that.
That made me,
even though I literally just met you like 10 seconds before.
That made me feel very like welcome, honestly, because it's just like she feels comfortable to tell me exactly who she is, and that's when I really started seeing like everybody in the family is very accepting, no matter who you are, and it's just like it just made me happy that you felt comfortable in your own shoes to be like, this is who I am, So so you first consider yourself, or you identify yourself as a lesbian at 8th grade. So give or take what, like 13, 14 years of age?
Yeah, like somewhere around there. Like it was somewhere between 8th and 7th grade.
Yeah,
somewhere between there. Somewhere there.
So yeah, like 13, 14 minutes, give or minutes. 13 or 14 years, give or take. Who was the first person, like, did you talk to about it? Did you ever have like that one friend, or was it like a family member?
Like, the first people to like know was my friends in middle school, because I knew they'd be cool with it, because it was middle school, nobody cared. But
yeah, same here. The first people that I told to was my best friend, who eventually turned to be like my friend's girlfriend. Yeah.
But yeah, and I had my first girlfriend in middle school, which was my first relationship. And let me just say, for like a good maybe for a while, we were like in the honeymoon stage of it was like the honeymoon stage of that relationship, because because she really liked me and I really liked her, and I was like, why not,
Right.
And we were together for a while, but then, of course, life kind of got in the way. We were going through stuff, and after like good 3-4 years going on, we kind of just had to, go ahead and end it. Yeah. For the sake of me and her. Like,
right.
yeah.
Like you said, life happens.
I still think about her a lot. I really do. But like I sort of in a way thank her for being my first relationship.
Mm-hmm.
So I have a good idea what it's like. And I'm glad for that.
Yeah.
So I go on, with my life, all that jazz, and going on to high school. And then a little bit after that, I kind of came to the conclusion that, am I bisexual? And I was like, because that's when I kind of came to the conclusion that I probably liked boys. Because like that before, that's when I sort of had that revelation that, it was okay to have emotions. And, again, when I started being more true to myself, I started, again, accepting myself for who I am. And that's when I was like, boys are like really cute too.
What part does your family play in all of this? Like your mom or like your siblings? Like, did you ever sit down and be like, hey mom, like I think I like girls, or I like girls, or
yeah, because it took me a while to work up the courage to tell my mom that. The first person in my family that I told, if I remember correctly, I think was my older sister, and she was very accepting of it. Like because I explained it to her, and she said, I was here for her, and like I told her, she told me that I eventually had to talk to my mom about it, and it's funny because she got the full picture of it when idiot middle school me tried to sneak out to go with my girlfriend at the time, and it didn't go well. I don't know what I was thinking. It was stupid. It was just me looking back at it. It was just so freaking stupid.
Yeah, like, and you don't realize that stuff. Yes, like when you're at that moment, because girl, believe me, you're talking to like a major sneaky person. Like I used to sneak out all the time. Like, don't sneak, guys. Okay, stay in school.
Yeah, don't do it. Don't do it. Just don't do it.
But like, yeah, like I get it.
Like I never got to do it. But my older brother, being the older brother that he is, being a good sibling, mm-hmm. He, did it, because I tried to have him to where he wouldn't say anything. But it's like, I feel terrible now looking back at it. Like, why did I try to make him just keep it a secret? It wouldn't have ended well.
Yeah. I think it's just a sibling thing, though, because my sister used to do that shit to me all the time. Like, she's older than me, and she'd be like, don't be telling mom. And I'd just be like,
But, so just like looking back at it, I felt terrible, and I'm kind of glad I didn't sneak out. Because I was going to explain to me that because I think kind of tried to do the same thing when she had like with a boyfriend she had or something like that. Mm-hmm. And she said for a while it kind of like not destroyed, but it kind of strained her relationship with my mom because it meant she had secret that she was keeping from her.
Yeah.
And my mom she wants to know stuff. She wants us to be comfortable enough to speak to her about stuff and whatever it may be. And us sneaking out, not telling anything, it hurts. And like when I look back at it, and of course when she told me, I felt terrible.
Yeah.
And I didn't know how to like confront her about it. And I was like, I feel like a giant freaking a-hole. To my own mom. I'm just like, jeez.
Yeah, it's true. I see that now as well as I'm older, because when I was younger, I was that kid like lying and sneaking around and stuff like that. And now that I'm older, it's not just important to tell your parents like everything, but it's important to tell our parents certain things, because if we need help for whatever the situation is and we don't tell them what's going on from the beginning, they might not even have the time or the sources to even help us when we're in a really tough situation. So whenever you talk to your mom about, you might want like you liking girls or liking or being lesbian, like was she like kind of like in denial, or was she like accepting?
She was mostly confused about it, but she was accepting about it because at the time she wasn't really well versed in LGBT. But now, since, you know, I'm an LBGT and like I'm keeping her informed in it, and I guess like now, since I'm in it, she's kind of keeping herself somewhat informed of, you know, what happens and all that. She's more accepting of it. Like she was already accepting of it, but best way I can say, she was more so confused about it. But she understands better now, and she makes it clear that, hey, it's my choice, it's my life, and she'll be there for me. You know,
and I think that makes like a really great parent, because even though she didn't understand what you were talking about or how you felt, she's willing to learn. Yeah, she's willing to participate in your lifestyle, because easily she could have just yelled at you. She could have sent you to
and I was terrified of that. Yeah. Like because I've heard plenty of stories of like people who would come out to their parents or something and like
they get disowned.
Yeah, like they will immediately get thrown. Yeah, they immediately get thrown out the house, and I was terrified.
Yeah, and I think that's very understandable to feel that way, because you know you do hear more of those stories than anything.
Yeah, and like when you really think about it, I'm pretty sure that doesn't happen every time you come out to your parents, but but like you said, it's the stories that we hear. Yeah,
because you don't hear the good stories, and you know that's on anything, even the news. You don't hear about the good stuff that's going on in the world. All you hear about is the bad stuff, you know.
Yeah, and that plays a part in like in a lot of things with like culture is now, because we always hear the bad stuff, so we always assume there's always just the bad stuff, you know.
Yeah, for sure. Like so far, all the people, you know, all of our special guests that I've had on this season, everybody's had a really good experience, like coming out to their families, you know. And I'm really glad that you also had, you know, like a good. I'm also glad that you had like a good experience, you know? So like your mom was confused but accepting. What about your siblings? You know, you said your older sister, she was there for you, you know, heard you out for the first time. And what about your siblings, your younger siblings?
He was cool with it, you know. He was just like, okay, cool. And didn't fully understand yet. He was still a bit young, but like now he gets it now. Idiot, but you know, he's cool.
He's funny. He reminds me a lot of young Jonathan for whatever reason. That's just like, hell no.
He looks so insulted. He's like, excuse me.
I don't know, like sometimes I see him and
like, how dare you?
Right? But that, you know, that's good. So, do you have you had any have you had another girlfriend since your first one?
I want to, but not recently. No, I currently have a boyfriend. This is my first boyfriend.
Okay,
it's freaking adorable.
So hold on, before we hop on that, I do want to go back and circle around. How you identify yourself as a lesbian around 7th and 8th grade, and then you did mention a little bit about being bisexual. When did that come about? Like when did you like, wait, do I only like girls?
Like somewhere between freshman and sophomore year.
Okay,
because that's when I came to the conclusion that I liked boys as well. Because I had to like check myself, like, okay, I still like girls. Because I had to make sure, because whenever it came to stuff like that, I always heard people have stories where people would tell them, oh, it's just a phase, you know, all that jazz, you know, BS.
About liking girls or about liking boys?
Like, just in... About
just the whole dating.
Yeah, the whole thing. Yeah, like, for example, the whole liking girls thing. Like, oh, it's just a phase, you know, whatever.
Yeah, I got that a lot.
Which it was for my cousin, one of our cousins, which it was, I guess, for her. Which, I mean, I can understand why it could be a phase for some people, but it wasn't for me.
Right.
Like, I knew for sure it wasn't for me.
Right.
So, like, I made sure, I'm like, okay, I still like girls. Girls are still hot. Girls are still hot. Okay.
For sure. It'd be podcast approves that message.
Approved. And then now I'm figuring out, hey, guys are hot. Especially guys with long hair, but, you know. But, you know, guys in general, you know, guys are hot. Guys are hot.
Yeah.
And I'm like, okay. And I came to the conclusion. And just to clarify something, I know at this time I knew that pansexuality existed.
Right.
You know? Mm-hmm. And it's funny because even when I was a lesbian, I'm like, I'm not bi. Ends up being bi. I'm like, oh, I'm not pan. Ends up being pan. I'm like, frick. But yeah, I came to the conclusion, okay, I'm bisexual. Why not? You know.
Mm-hmm.
And I was like, hey, found something new about myself.
Yeah.
Hey.
So and it was because you saw a guy and like he grabbed your attention normally where guys don't grab your attention.
Yeah, usually.
Yeah, that kind of happened to me the same way. It's crazy because it's also the same thing. I started liking girls when I was like 13, 14. Had my first girlfriend around that same age, and I didn't. The first boy I met that like it made me like a little tingly was like around the same like
I like that word tingly.
Sophomore junior year when I was just like wait it's a little different, and it's crazy because it's like I always be like, oh, I'm a lesbian, I don't like guys are nasty, and it's just like look at me, married to a whole man.
It's beautiful. Nice little transition.
Right. and it's like, do I consider it a phase though? I wouldn't consider it a phase because I consider it that was part of me. Like I was at a young age. How was I gonna know that that we were going to be bisexual or per se at a young age when the first thing that interested was women? You know what I mean? Like it's a phase and a way to process who we really are, but it's not a phase
that just ends.
Yeah. Like it wasn't like we weren't just playing like the jump rope and we got tired of that and now we're playing like tag. Like that's not what it happened.
It's not like that.
Yeah, it's
like you're exploring yourself. You're discovering yourself.
Definitely. And I feel like a lot of people should do that. And I feel like that's why people are so confused and so against people that are part of this amazing community because they don't understand it because they never gave yourself a chance to explore themselves.
Yeah, because sometimes it's something that's internalized, and it comes out as sometimes as anger or just it can come out as something negative.
Yeah,
which is usually the case.
Yeah, like why is it normal to be straight but it's not normal to be gay? To be lesbian,
it's because it's something that some people are not used to.
Yeah, and and I feel like now the people that are so against this community, like they are longer not winning, like that war against, the gays and the lesbians, and now they're trying to turn a war into the transgenders. Like people that I don't know exactly where it's at. So I don't know if y'all know where it's at, but they're doing that. Like if your kid considers himself a transgender, then you have to give him a CPS case for the parents because it's like the parents' fault that the kid is like trying to
consider themselves as trans.
Yeah, and they're trying to say that it's the parents' fault because of like how they live, and it's just like that has nothing to do. That's
literally nothing to do with it. I mean, the only thing that the parents can do is just influence, and apparently you can say they're good parents because the kids are considering, hey, I could be trans because I feel like when a kid is able to have what's the word? Able to have like sources, like basically aka the internet, like have a good idea of what's out there. Like for example, when I was like in elementary, starting middle school, I learned that girls can like girls. I'm like, really? Yeah. I'm like, that's an actual thing.
But I don't me personally, I don't think that's being influenced. I think it's just more like it's put in front of you and it might answer a lot of your questions. Like if you didn't know that liking a girl or liking the same gender, period, because even for boys, like, they didn't know that was like in quote normal because all you see in the TV is women and a guy, men and female. So the moment that like a young person sees a woman and a woman, it doesn't be like, oh, I'm gonna be gay now because they're gay, but it's more like that's
an option.
Yeah, like, oh, this is why I feel towards women.
When you discover something about yourself, it just opens up like an entire new path. Yeah, it's a new path. And that's a good thing. And like whatever you're introduced to, you can go whatever down any path you want. Yeah, and I think that's a good thing.
Yeah, because a lot of parents I've noticed, I've heard a lot on social media and the news, and I like to read a lot of articles and stuff like that. And they believe that we can come out to be gays, lesbian, transgenders, pansexuals because of a TV show that we watch. So it's just like, if that was the case, then I should have been straight. Because all the things my mama watched was telenovelas, which is soap operas, and there was never a same-sex couple in the TV. I never watched anything that had sex couple, like the same-sex couple in the TV, actually.
Yeah.
So it's just like, who was I influenced by then? Because this came about, this happened by myself. I never had a gay role model. I never had a gay family member. Like, so who influenced me then? I think
it's like when they tried to blame the show SpongeBob, the show SpongeBob for why their kids are gay for some reason.
What? I never heard of that.
Because of how happy he was.
What?
Because kids know how SpongeBob is. He's very flamboyant.
Yeah.
And for some reason, the parents were thinking, "Oh, it's the show SpongeBob's fault that my child is gay."
Well,
like that. And
if that's the case, then every TV show should be questioned. Because what about that bleepy, beepy or bleepy? That's a grown ass man playing with little kids. It's like this white man. I think it's called Bleepy or Bloopy. I don't know, some weird ass shit. But it's just like he over here running around doing activities with kids. Like, so does that mean that a kid's gonna grow up and see that and be like, oh, I'm gonna play with kids when I'm grown and become a pedophile? Like, that's literally what you're telling me. Yeah, that's how I'm taking it.
It doesn't make any sense. You're just trying to find something to support your argument, even though it doesn't even support your argument to begin with.
Yeah, because
you're just trying to find a reason just trying to find an excuse to try to justify your reasons. And I hate it when people try to do that, and not just with this situation entirely, just with anything.
Mm-hmm.
But
yeah. So that is a totally different situation.
Yeah, and that's a whole new story
topic
right
that we should definitely get into it someday, because it's crazy. Because it's like, if you want to sit here and say like that the internet and social media and the TV influence your kids to being gay, then you're the reason your kid is a racist. You are the reason that your kid beats on women. You are the reason that your kid does drugs. You're the reason that your kid is a murderer. Like, it's an endless story. Because if we're being influenced to who I am, then where does that start at home? Because we weren't born watching TV. We weren't born with a Facebook page.
Yeah, it always goes back. It always goes back to home. Like, every murder story ever, like almost every murder story ever, home. It always starts at home. It's like, it's always something that happens. Sometimes it's like a traumatic experience, or just something, or just some sort of influence from parents or whatever. Mm-hmm. Like that one murder story where two boys felt the urge to murder their both rich parents for some reason. Because if I remember correctly, they said they were like abusive towards them.
Are you talking about those two
Melendez
brothers?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah. Okay. You know what I'm talking about.
Yeah, I watched the whole. I think it's Melendez or Mendez, something like that. I watched it on Hulu. It was
and I think if I remember correctly, they said like they were like abusive towards them or something. So
the father was sexually abusing them, and the mother was getting drunk and high the whole time because she knew that was happening.
But she was ignoring it.
And she was ignoring it, and she was blaming the boys. Like, that was their fault. But see, that's the thing. Like, the boys didn't turn out gay because they were having sex with a male, and that didn't make them gay. So it's like, so how if something physically is happening to them, they're introduced to a young age to a same-sex experience. What the fuck are you gonna get from a little TV show then?
Yeah, exactly. And it's like, what? Again, they're just trying to find reasons to try to justify their reasonings. Like I said, even if it doesn't make any sense, they're like, oh man, the problem can't be me. It has to be literally anything or anyone else, not me.
Yeah.
Because they would never try to consider that they themselves are the problem. And that's probably why I love movies like Encanto and Coco. Because it's always like it's like, it's a family thing, but they would never try to consider themselves the problem, especially in Encanto, where the family itself was kind of the problem, and it all started with Abuelo, but it was like from her trauma and all that.
Yeah.
But it took her good 50 years to realize that.
Yeah.
Because of all that. And Maribel, she, again, when the whole house was like cracking and, the whole thing was about to fall apart, she said, our family is falling apart because of you.
Right.
Which she was right.
Mm-hmm.
But it wasn't just her. Like the whole family had to, do their own part with it. But she had a point there. It was mostly her fault.
Yeah, definitely. That's definitely true. I believe that a lot of our issues comes from family, because just sometimes family can be very stubborn, and sometimes people deny that they're against so hard against, like, they go against it so hard about their kids being into the same sex, because they're so damn worried about what they're gonna think about their family.
Yeah, they're not thinking about the well-being of their own child. They're thinking about how it would be the family. Like one scene where when Maribel, like, she found Bruno's vision, and like, she put it together, and then her dad walked in, saw her do it, and when
instead of having her back,
instead of immediately going to Abuela and telling her about it, he's like, okay, look, and he tried to, like, okay, let's cover it up for a minute, and let's just try to get through this. And, Dolores hears the whole thing, whatever. And then later, when he's confronted about it, it's like, why didn't you just tell us? And it's like, you think about the family. And he said, I was thinking of my daughter, not my family. And like, she wasn't gonna, like, he basically just pointed out, like, he wasn't gonna do the same thing that Abuela did to Bruno.
Right.
Where she put her family's presence, her look, over the well-being of her son.
Yeah.
And it's like, he wasn't going to try and make that mistake.
Yeah. So the movie we're talking about is called Encanto. It's on Disney. If you haven't seen it, you should definitely check it out. I don't know if it's in any other platforms than Disney Plus. That's where we watched it.
Probably not, but
yeah. It is a really good movie. If you, like, obviously, if you're watching it as a kid, you're really not going to get, like, the story and whatnot.
Like, maybe not immediately.
But if you're an adult, you'll definitely, like, understand where we're coming from. And, if you don't understand something and you're, instead of disowning your kid, you should definitely learn. It's okay to be confused. And I've said it before. You learn that shit from school. What do the teachers tell you? Don't understand something? Ask questions. That's why they provide tutoring. That's why they provide computers. And if you have somebody in your family that's just a little bit different than you, it's not bad.
Yeah, just try to understand them.
It's just a little bit more color to your day-to-day life. That's literally what it is.
Yeah, because that's what Abuela refused to do.
Mm-hmm. She refused to grow. She refused to let her
go.
Expand. Yeah, and her keeping old like doings. Like we say, that almost broke her family, but your mom, she didn't decide to do that. Your mom, decided to be a little confused and processed it. And I'm pretty sure, she asked questions, or she tried to, understand you, to have your support, to be there for you, and and whatnot. And so when you first came out, you told her that you were a lesbian.
Yes.
Correct? And by that time, you already had a girlfriend?
Yeah, at the time.
And you told her?
Yeah, when I told her that I had a girlfriend. Again,
so
she was very... The best way I can say is she was a bit put off by it, because I guess she didn't really see it coming. Mm-hmm. But again, I'm really lucky that I have a really accepting mother, because like when it comes to a lot of things, she's very accepting, like even more so now. Yeah. And she understands me better, and she's willing to understand me better.
Right. A round of applause for accepting parents. So did you tell her that you were a lesbian because you had a girlfriend, or you told her I was a lesbian and then you got a girlfriend?
I had a girlfriend before I told her, because I was still going through that stupid stage where I was keeping some things from her, because again, I was still afraid of the whole her disowning me thing.
Yeah.
And for a while, like, I didn't keep a lot of things from her, but I kept some things from her. Yeah. I mean, she eventually found out about the whole girlfriend thing, because I planned to tell her, just took me a while to do so.
Yeah.
because I think the first person who technically knew about my girlfriend was my older sister. And, you know, I was glad I told her because, like, you know, I couldn't really just keep it to myself.
Right,
you know?
right. No, yeah, I understand that.
I felt like I had to tell somebody.
Yeah.
And then, you know, after I told my mom, I think that's when I kind of told it to Jonathan's mom, my aunt. And, you know, she kind of figured it out because I kept talking about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
Even though I wouldn't say she was my girlfriend, I would just constantly talk about her. And
Yeah.
I don't remember if that was either before or after we were dating, but still. Yeah.
So,
the point still stands.
What was I gonna? So you did mention that eventually in school you like boys, or you saw this boy or whatever, and
Like, yeah, I don't think
you did mention that you were like in a little bit of denial off records, because I'm pretty sure I don't think you said it on the recording, but you did mention saying that you were in denial about liking boys.
Yeah, I was in denial for a while because for some reason I went through a stage like, boys are, you know, gross thing. You know,
I feel it.
Almost every pretty much almost every girl went through. It's like, boys are gross. Gross.
Cooties.
Cooties. Yes. God, that was so stupid. Ugh.
I still say it.
Cooties. I just look back and I just cringe. But yeah, for a while I was like a bit in denial about it because I'm like, I can't like boys. I can't be because
is it because you didn't know that being bisexual existed?
Yeah, I think I was aware of it, but I didn't think I was bisexual.
Okay. See,
that whole thing.
Because for me, it was a little different. Like I didn't know that bisexual was a thing. So whenever I first had my thing, like for a boy, I was just like, so am I straight now? Like I went like, yeah, like I didn't. That's why I asked.
You know, to a whole loop.
That's why I asked to see like what was your thought process, you know, and you just didn't. You knew about it, but you just didn't feel like you were part of that section of the community.
Yeah, because thankfully, from people I know and also the internet, I had an idea of different sexualities that existed, and I knew bisexuality existed. Again, I just didn't think it was me.
Right.
But when I really looked into it, and I was like, crap, I think I am bisexual.
Yeah.
I'm like, look at that.
So that boy that you first liked in school or whatever.
Well, actually, it wasn't really like a boy I saw.
Okay.
It was just like maybe it was. I don't fully remember, but I just remember really giving into my attraction towards boys. You know, if that makes any sense.
I get what you're saying.
Because I feel like it was always there, but again, I was in denial about it.
Yeah. Okay. You know, and that's okay. That's the whole point of processing who we are. You know, like I think that's on an everyday life, you know, like you process if you want to be like a doctor, if you want to be a chef, if you want to be a teacher. It's just a process. You got to figure out what you want. And I feel like being like your sexual orientation falls in that department because we got to figure out who we like, you know, and if you are born in quote born straight, you still go through the process of who do you like? Do you like tall or skinny, short and fat, black and white?
Like you thick boys or what happened?
Yeah, you know what I mean?
Big boys.
Like, everything is a thought process. Everything that makes us goes through that. You know what I mean? And I don't understand why being lesbian or transgender or a drag queen, it's illness, a mental illness,
or
like,
something
why?
that's wrong.
Yeah,
you know?
like I'm pretty sure if people could, they will fucking make it illegal if you're gay.
Yeah, because in some parts of the world they've had it to where it's illegal simply because like it's against their religion or something like that.
Yeah.
But
they don't, like if you're married here, and you marry like a wife here, and you go somewhere to another state, your marriage is not legal because you're not allowed to be gay. You know?
And it's like what?
That's crazy.
Imagine be so distraught over a couple people making out that you feel the need to go up the freaking like state or something and try to make laws against it.
Right, yeah.
It's kind of hilarious when you think about it.
Yeah. So we're going to go ahead and wrap this one up because we do have another conversation that I want to hop on to with you. Because me personally, I don't really know what being a pansexual is. So I would like to get into it because I want to learn, and I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one that doesn't know what being pansexual is. So, having you here and being able to talk to us and explain, you are able to explain to us, your process and how did you figure out how, this is who you are. I think it will be pretty interesting. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, but this is going to be the end of this episode. So if you want to hear part 2 and find out with us what being a pansexual is, tune in next month. Next month. Oh my God. Next week.
Month. Gotta wait a month.
Week, right?
Prime month's over.
Next week. And so remember you can find the name of the song on our Instagram. It'd be podcast. And Mono doesn't do social media, but really. Y'all can always DM us. We do have a website. We also have a YouTube channel, so if you want to go ahead and like reach out to us to talk to her, we can probably make something happen. Until then, y'all stay safe and cooties are real. Okay, bye.
Bye.